ಸಾಕು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸೆಟಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ನಾವು ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಂ ಡೋರ್ಸ್ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬೇಗ. ಬೇಗ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಬಂದು ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
Dear students, can I have your attention please? All of you please listen to me. This is a very important seminar. We have dignitaries who are coming from UK, so the reputation of BCU is in your hands. I hope you will all maintain it. Do not shout, scream or talk loudly in the auditorium when the program is going on. I want this to be followed by each one of you. You're all PG and UG students. I don't think you should be instructed again and again. I hope you will cooperate with all of us. Can I have a yes from all of you? Will you all cooperate with us? Thank you so much. I know that you're all very responsible students. In a few minutes, the guest will be entering. Till then, you can whisper to yourself, but after the guest come, please maintain silence in the auditorium. Professor Ibrahim Adya, Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of Wolverhampton, Professor Lingraj Gandhi, former Vice Chancellor of Bengaluru City University, the guest of honor, Professor Prashant Pillai, Pro Vice Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Exchange, University of Wolverhampton, Professor K.R. Jalaja, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bengaluru City University, Professor Suresh Renukappa, Director for Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation, Professor Subhashini Suresh, Shri T. Javregowda, Registrar of Bangalore City University, Professor B. Ramesh, Registrar of Bangalore City University, to be please seated on the dais.
A very good morning to one and all. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural function of the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation. Today marks a significant milestone in global academic collaboration. Kindly take your seats as we prepare to begin this momentous occasion.
I request Dr. Jyoti Venkatesh Ma'am, Dean of Arts, to please come on to the dais.
Invocation start ಮಾಡೋಣ. No meanwhile I think we will come back.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿರುವ ಒಂದು ಕಿರು ಸೂಚನೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಗಣ್ಯರು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಶಬ್ದವಾಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಂತಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಸಾಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲವು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Students, kindly find seats and be seated. Kindly maintain the decorum of the auditorium.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಮತ್ತು ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಸಹಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಸಮಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಕುರಿತು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ನಿರೂಪಣೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮಾಲಿನಿ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನೊಡನೆ ದೀಕ್ಷಾ ಅವರು ಸೇರಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸೋಣ. ಸಮಾಜಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಕವಿತಾ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ.
We shall now commence with an invocation to invoke the blessings of the Almighty for a successful event ahead.
Sri ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಕವಿತಾ. ಈಗ ನಾಡಗೀತೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿಂತು ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಜೀವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಮತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಮಂಜು ಅವರು ನಾಡಗೀತೆಯನ್ನ ಹಾಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿಶಬ್ದವಾಗಿ ನಿಂತು ನಾಡಗೀತೆಗೆ ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
जय भारत जननीय तनुजाते, जय हे कर्नाटक माते, जय सुंदर नदी वनಗಳ ನಾಡೆ, ಜಯ ಹೇ ರಸ ಋಷಿಗಳ ಬೀಡೆ. ಭೂದೇವಿಯ ಮಕುಟದ ನವಮಣಿಯೇ, ಗಂಧದ ಚಂದದ ಹುಣ್ಣಿನ ದನಿಯೇ, ರಾಘವ ಮಧುಸೂದನರವತರಿಸಿದ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಜನನಿಯ ಜೋಗುಳ ವೇದದ ಘೋಷ, ಜನನಿಗೆ ಜೀವವು ನಿನ್ನಾವೇಶ. ಹಸುರಿನ ಗಿರಿಗಳ ಸಾಲೆ, ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕೊರಳಿನ ಮಾಲೆ. ಕಪಿಲ ಪತಂಜಲ ಗೌತಮ ಜಿನನುತ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಶಂಕರ ರಾಮಾನುಜ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ, ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ಮಧ್ವರ ದಿವ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ, ರನ್ನ ಷಡಕ್ಷರಿ ಪೊನ್ನ, ಪಂಪಲ ಕುನಿಪತಿ ಜನ್ನ. ಕುಮಾರ ವ್ಯಾಸರ ಮಂಗಳಧಾಮ, ಕವಿ ಕೋಗಿಲೆಗಳ ಪುಣ್ಯಾರಾಮ. ನಾನಕ ರಾಮಾನಂದ ಕಬೀರರ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಕೈಲಪ ವೈಸಲರಾಳಿದ ನಾಡೆ, ಕಂಕಣ ಜಕಣರ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಬೀಡೆ. ಇಂಥ ಶರಾವತಿ ತುಂಗ, ಕಾವೇರಿಯವರ ರಂಗ. ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ವಿವೇಕರ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ. ಸರ್ವ ಜನಾಂಗದ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ತೋಟ, ರಸಿಕರ ಕಂಗಳ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ನೋಟ. ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ, ಪಾರಸಿಕ ಜೈನ ವಿದ್ಯಾನ. ಜನತನ ಹೋಲುವ ದೊರೆಗಳ ಧಾಮ, ಕಾಯಕ ವೈನಿಕರ ರಾಮ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವ ಗೇಯ, ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ. ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನುಜಾತೆ, ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ, ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ, ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you for that soulful invocation that set a gracious tone for the day.
ಈಗ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಮೌಲ್ಯಮಾಪನ ಕುಲಸಚಿವರಾದ ಟಿ ಜವರೇಗೌಡ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಕ್ಷಮಿಸಿ, ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಆಡಳಿತ ಕುಲಸಚಿವರಾದ ಟಿ ಜವರೇಗೌಡ ಅವರು ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ.
To extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our esteemed gathering today, I invite Shri T. Javregowda Sir, Registrar Administration, Bengaluru City University.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ದಿನ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯ, ಈ ಎರಡು ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯಗಳ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನೋವೇಷನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟರನ್ನು ಇದೀಗ ತಾನೇ ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಿ ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಈಗ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಶಾಖೆಗಳ ಸಂಗಮ ಈ ದಿವಸ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದರ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನವನ್ನ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರದ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ತಮ್ಮ ಬೌದ್ಧಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಇದು ಸಹಾಯಕ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ MC ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಅವರು ಆಗಮಿಸಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಿ ತುರ್ತು ಕಾರ್ಯ ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಅವರು ಶುಭವನ್ನು ಹಾರೈಸಿ ತೆರಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಪರವಾಗಿ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರು ಸಚಿವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಶರಣಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ R. ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ರವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅವರು ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದ ನಾನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ತಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿ ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ವಂದನೆಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ರೂವಾರಿಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಶೀಲ, ಉತ್ಸಾಹಿ, ಆನರಬಲ್ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚೀಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ UK ಆದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಇಬ್ರಾಹಿಂ ಆದಿಯಾ ರವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ರೂಪುರೇಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನೋವೇಷನ್ ಈ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರು, ಇದರ ರೂವಾರಿಗಳು ಆಗಿದ್ದಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಶ್ರಾಂತ ಉಪಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಲಿಂಗರಾಜ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಕುಳಿತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು, ಆಗಮಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು ಪ್ರೋ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ UK ಆದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ್ ಪಿಲ್ಲೈ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಸಭೆಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳ ನಿರ್ದೇಶನ, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಸಲಹೆ ಸೂಚನೆ, ಅದರ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಿಟಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ KR ಜಲಜಾರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಜೊತೆ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮ ಒಡನಾಟವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿ ಈ ಎರಡು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಸೇತುವಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸುರೇಶ್ ರೇಣುಕಪ್ಪ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನೋವೇಷನ್ ಆದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುರೇಶ್ ರೇಣುಕಪ್ಪರವರಿಗೆ ಸಭೆಗಳು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸುಭಾಷಿನಿ ಸುರೇಶ್, ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ UK ಆದಂಥ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸುಭಾಷಿನಿ ಸುರೇಶ್ ರವರಿಗೂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಆದ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಆಹ್ವಾನದ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರುಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುಪ್ರೀತ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣರಾಮ್ ರವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬರು ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಶಿಲ್ಪಶ್ರೀ ಮೇಡಮ್ ರವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಎಲಿಜಬೆತ್ ಜಾಸ್ಮಿನ್ ರವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಸಿಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಸದಸ್ಯರು, ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ನ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರುಗಳು, ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರು, ಸಹಾಯಕ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರು, ಅತಿಥಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಮಿತ್ರರು ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದಿಂದ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರು ಸರ್ವರನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುತ್ತಾ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಮುಕ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸರಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೀನರುಗಳು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೋಧಕ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳು, ಡೀನರುಗಳು, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹರಿಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸಭೆಗೆ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಬೋಧಕೇತರ ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ NCC ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಭೆಗೆ, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸುತ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಕ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಹಾಗೆ ಆಡಳಿತ ಕುಲಸಚಿವರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಟಿ ಜವರೇಗೌಡರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಬಯಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಜವರೇಗೌಡ ಸರ್ರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳು.
We now move to a sacred tradition, the lighting of the lamp, symbolizing the illumination of knowledge. I request our honored dignitaries to come forward to light the lamp, while our student Chaitanya will play the saxophone.
ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಚೈತನ್ಯಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you for lighting the path forward and adding a ceremonial glow to our beginning.
ಈಗ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಒಂದು ಕಿರುಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಹಾರೈಕೆ, ಸಾರಿಗೆ, ಇಂಧನ ಭದ್ರತೆ, ಹವಾಮಾನ, ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ, ತ್ಯಾಜ್ಯದಿಂದ ಸಂಪತ್ತು ರಚನೆ, ಸಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಾಧಾರಿತ ನೀತಿಗಳನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸುವ ಮತ್ತು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ನಾವೀನ್ಯತೆ ಅಂತಹ ಹಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತೇಜನ ನೀಡುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ವಿನಿಮಯ, ಕೌಶಲ್ಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶಗಳ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರೀಕರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯಾಗಲಿದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಮಂಡಳಿಯ ಸಹಯೋಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ, ಕೈಗಾರಿಕಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ವಲಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಪರ್ಕ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಜಾಗತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸಹಾಯವಾಗುವ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಹಯೋಗ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಕೇಂದ್ರವಾಗಿ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಲಯದ ವೃತ್ತಿಪರದ ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿಸುವ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಇದಾಗಿದೆ. ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕೇಂದ್ರವು ಅಂತರ್ಶಿಸ್ತೀಯ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ವಲಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಮಾಜದ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಒಂದು ಸೇತುವೆ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಉತ್ತಮ ಭವಿಷ್ಯಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ.
To introduce the vision, mission and purpose of the newly established center, I call upon Professor Suresh Renukappa sir, Director of the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Good morning, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Honorable Vice Chancellors, Pro Vice Chancellor, the syndicate members, principals, distinguished faculty members, deans, and dear research fellows and researchers. A very warm welcome to each one of you. It is a great honor to introduce the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation, a transformative partnership between India and UK, particularly between Bengaluru City University and University of Wolverhampton. WBC, what we shortly call, is not just a center, it's a collaborative ecosystem we're creating for the benefit of both the societies, both developing as well as developed world. What each can learn from other and how to make a better place to live for everyone across the globe. This is not just for the academics or the researchers, it's more than that. So we aim to bring the young researchers, young entrepreneurs and policy makers to address the global mega challenges. As we all know that some of the mega challenges include climate change, changing the health condition, what happened recently with respect to COVID-19, the public health emergency, to address those sort of things, how all can come together and work for the betterment. Today marks not just the launch of the center, but the beginning of a shared journey of knowledge, innovation and global collaboration. So we all believe in shared vision or sharing the resources, not only the financial resources, also sharing the environmental capital, or what we call natural capital and social capital. The WBC is a result of a shared vision and sustained collaboration between the Bengaluru City University and University of Wolverhampton over a period of time. It started in the year 2023, exactly around 27 months back, when Professor then Vice Chancellor Chop's impactful publications and engagement with key policy makers and ministers. And today in April 2025, we are proud to inaugurate WBC, a dynamic of research, innovation and global collaboration. Just to give an overview of WBC, the vision is to be a globally recognized leader in green innovation and policy development, particularly focusing on transforming the public and private sector performance and improving lives through impactful research, development and its implementation. The mission statement is mainly focusing on how do you create and address the global mega challenges, as I mentioned earlier, applicable to both developed and global south countries. Mainly focusing on finding the solutions to green innovation, smart cities and villages. The villages are also very, very important. Thank you. If you see that every second more than 27 people migrate to the cities, so it's not good. How do you arrest that, the movement from villages to city? So that's the biggest challenge any developing country face. What are the solutions we could find to intervene the movement of the population from villages to cities? And also, the talk of the town is artificial intelligence. Everyone wants to use everywhere. People are afraid of, that we might lose the job or what will happen about our, the personal data space. So, but we need to use AI for the benefit of us, not for the benefit of AI. So that's where, the very important for us to explore the opportunities to integrate AI into the, the global to address the global mega challenges. And develop all the solutions, it's not impactful unless the policy development and policy makers make the laws and regulations. So how we can feed back to the government to develop the policies. That's also one of the key aim of our research. Oops. Back forward. Yeah. So it is okay. Yeah, the WBC focuses on a set of interdisciplinary themes that span multiple departments. Okay. Including resilient healthcare, green innovation, inclusive education, energy security, climate resilient water supply, digital transformation, future mobility, and waste to wealth creation. These themes we developed based on the brand Bengaluru development along with the West Midland Combined Authority strategic vision. So what we are trying to do is we are developing a global solutions for the global problems. For example, the sustainability pillar encompasses key areas such as energy efficiency, low carbon, net zero carbon goals, long-term impact, green innovation, and a balanced focus on people, planet, and profit. Through these themes and guiding principles, WBC is committed to addressing global mega challenges, including climate change, waste management, healthcare transformation, aging population, and energy efficiency. Some of the key activities what we propose and working with the WBC including joint PhD supervision, like collaboration, mentorship of doctoral candidates across institutions like in the University of Wolverhampton and Bangalore City University. Then co-authored publications, visiting scholar scheme, joint workshops and international conferences, capacity building programs like strengthening skills and expertise in research, innovation and policy development, then development of joint research proposal, particularly focusing on international like British Council and other funding sources. how can we work with then engagement with the specialist research teams, particularly related to cyber security, 3D printing, next generation healthcare services, green innovation, these are the areas we can learn and share with the industry. That's how we could create a competitive advantage. And also we are looking to collaborate with research and development sponsored by industry, so where we can take the industrial problem and find the solution for the long-term sustainability perspective. So University of Wolverhampton is dedicated to creating a shared value, as I mentioned earlier. For the higher education institutions, we are already working with around 18 institutions, and also we want to develop a very close network and also closely work with the academic institutions, both Bengaluru City universities and their other colleges. So through that, we want to provide an opportunity for our students to come and understand and learn more in the UK, creating a cultural capital for the students. For that, we are offering some of the special discounts. Some of those things I think we are already shared with the faculty. So please make use of that so that we could work together and make the more impactful research and also the collaboration. So just to end my talk, as Einstein wisely stated, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So what does it mean? We created the mega challenges across the world. To solve them, we need to be more innovative and need to look for a possible and collaborative solution. So I hope this will help us to create and make more impactful research on India and UK. Thank you very much for asking this.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜೋಡಣೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಜೊತೆ ಅಂತ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ವಿವರಣೆ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್.
We now move towards the inaugural address of WBC. We are deeply privileged to welcome Professor Prashant Pillai, Pro Vice Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Exchange, University of Wolverhampton. I welcome you, sir.
Right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I've been asked to step in and do the inaugural speech. So as you might know that I'm not on your agenda, but I'll try and do my best. So all the students here, take out your notebooks. There might be an exam in the end of this, yes? So good morning, everyone. I'm Prashant Pillai. I'm the Pro Vice Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Exchange at the University of Wolverhampton. And it's a great pleasure for me to be here. First of all, a very big thank you to the university for warmly hosting us here today, but also for all of you to take the time out from your busy schedules to come and listen to us. It's an interesting day today and a really exciting day today because it's the launch of the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation. As Suresh mentioned before, the seeds of this were sown about 2.5 years back when we started engaging with your university, trying to see what can we do in terms of research and how can we play a part together in innovating together. And that was the key moment in our journey where we said, okay, I think what we would want to do is over the next few years try and see if we can build a center together. Wouldn't that be great? And it's great to see that today we are at the inaugural function here. Some of you may not know about the University of Wolverhampton, so probably I'll just introduce you to the university. So very similar to yours, we've got a long history of education. So we were set up about 200 years ago. So we were set up in 1827 as the Wolverhampton Tradesmen and Mechanics Institute. And I've been into education for a long time. And as a university, we're a broad-based university, so we look at all disciplines, so whether it's engineering, computer science, to social science, humanities, business, law. We've got several degrees around the different areas. And again, from a research point of view, we've got research happening in most of these areas. So we've got 17 research centers, a huge amount of academics who are involved in research, and we're constantly growing some of those activities. And for the last few years, we've been actually investing into research, of course, under our leadership of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Abraham. We built a new strategy for research knowledge exchange along with a new university's Vision 2035 strategy, looking at where do we want to be, in the next 10 years, where do we want to see University of Wolverhampton, what is it that we want to be doing at the university, what do we want to be known for as a university. And we picked up 3 big thematic areas. Our first thematic area is green innovation and sustainability. Our second area is health and well-being. And our third area is inclusive communities. Now, when you look back at all of these 3 areas, this is not an area that is only important to Wolverhampton. It's an area that's important to everybody. So if you look at Bangalore as well as a city or Karnataka as a state, these are areas that really resonate here as well. And again, these are the areas that we would like to see how we can collaborate together on and how we drive some of those strategies. I'll just mention a few of the quick things. If you look at some of the big initiatives that we've been bringing over the last few years, that shows the kind of credibility in our areas. So if you look at green innovation and sustainability, we are home to the £70 million National Brownfield Institute, which is the only institute in the country, in the UK, looking at brownfield regeneration. So looking at old buildings, old derelict sites, how they can be regenerated into new living spaces. We're also home to the £27 million Green Innovation Corridor, and Suresh mentioned about that. And it's a flagship project that we're looking at the moment. Again, one of the kind in the country, looking at green innovation across different sectors, right? So looking at green engineering, for example. So what are the new kind of materials that need to be there? So when we look at factories of the future, what would that mean? So we do a huge amount of work in 3D printing, for example. Especially, of course, everybody's heard 3D printing. Do you know what 3D printing is? Have you seen 3D printing? I'm sure you have. A lot of it is usually with plastics, for example. We do a lot of work with additive manufacturing or metal printing, so 3D printing with copper, silver, gold. And we were the first in the world to actually print with copper 20 years back. We were the first in the world to print with gold, first in the world to print with silver, and we've just filed a patent in where we're printing with diamond, right? It's a powdered diamond. So when you start looking at innovation, I think that's where it is. It's about trying to see what you can do first in the world, and that's where we want to be, where we want to put WBC at the heart of that as well. Some of the other areas we're looking at GIC and some very interesting areas as well. Of course, I talked about National Brownfield Institute, which is of course about land remediation. But then when we start looking at future buildings, how can our future buildings, how these future cities be a lot more sustainable? How can we do that? How can we make more green buildings? So when you start looking at green constructions, modern methods of construction, modular construction, so all of those areas and smarter buildings, sensor systems to detect things. So how you bring some of the technology within some of our construction industry also is something that we're looking at. A third very interesting area that we're looking at, and some of you might find that fascinating, is something called green computing. And when you talk about computing, green never connects to that, isn't it? I'm sure, so whenever I talk to people and talk about green computing, I really see puzzled faces just like yourselves at the moment. What is green computing? That doesn't mean anything. So have you guys heard about artificial intelligence? Right, hands up. How many have used AI? ChatGPT. Wow, brilliant, excellent. And that's really important because when you look at artificial intelligence, and I'm sure you've heard this, everybody wants to use it. Everybody is using it. I think 90% of the people raise their hands. And if you look at AI is going to play a huge role in transforming not just the digital sector, but every sector, right? You've got AI in healthcare, AI in retail, AI in manufacturing, engineering, everywhere AI. Now I'll ask you, what's green about AI? So, if you look at an average UK home, a household, normal apartment or a house, 3 bedrooms there, it uses something like 2,700 kilowatt hours of electricity in a year. Okay? So just remember that, 2,700 kilowatt hours in 1 year. Can you think about how much electricity that ChatGPT server uses in one day? Any guesses? So in a house, we use 2,700 kilowatt in a year. So your house, roughly about 2,000. ChatGPT uses 2.9 million kilowatts hour per day. So is AI sustainable? Not at all. Is AI green? Not at all. But nobody's looking at that. So while the whole world is looking at how can we use AI, we are looking at how can we make AI more green? What can we do to make the future technologies more sustainable? And that's where we should be looking at, the cutting edge of research where no one else is interested, no one's looking at them at the moment. Everyone's trying to apply research into their areas, but are not solving the big fundamental challenges. And that's key. So we built a pilot testbed, a pilot data center for servers, which on comparison to Google servers, AWS servers, only uses 18% of electricity. I mean, imagine the savings of that, right? So from that pilot, we're now, of course, going to move forward and try and look at larger data centers where we can use our adaptive technologies there as well. So again, start looking at certain new areas where nobody's looking at it. It's quite important. One, I'm mentioning all of these ideas is, when you look at research, research is all about that. And as research scholars, you want to try and tackle problems that no one has helped, no one has looked at. There are solutions, there aren't any solutions there. Right? We don't want to be those kind of researchers, and we've all had our PhDs, we've all been there. We don't want to be researchers who were just publishing papers that nobody cared about. We didn't want to be just doing marginal changes in some algorithms and publishing. We wanted to really come up, be the first ones in the world to tackle something that no one was looking at. And that really excites a lot of us. And that's what WBC should hopefully try and give that platform. It's a platform where we want to use so that it can give you the platform to engage not just with your peers here in the university, but now your peers in Wolverhampton University as well. We want to bring the researcher community in Wolverhampton here together, working with you guys together. And as Suresh mentioned, it can be in various different ways. We could be looking at PhD, joint PhD programs, researchers from here, spending some time within Wolverhampton University and University of Wolverhampton University researchers spending some time here with researchers, joint projects, joint research, joint papers, joint conferences, events. There's a whole raft of things that we will try and enable as part of WBC, which really makes it really good because we can then together start tackling some of those big problems that are there. And we're now partnering with other people as well, which we'll try and bring in here as well. One of the last things I'll mention is, so recently at Wolverhampton, we signed something called the Prosperity Alliance with the United Nations, right? Why is that important? United Nations has only signed that agreement with two other cities in the world, Shanghai and Bahrain. We were the third city in the world to sign the Prosperity Alliance. And the Prosperity Alliance is all about how we can further progress the adoption of Sustainable Development Goals. We've all heard about SDGs, but who's actually engaging in the adoption of SDGs? Who's really putting their time and effort into researching innovative solutions so that we can all be more sustainable? And of course, United Nations came and saw some of the stuff we do. And again, a lot of our research centers and research labs have been there for 20 years, 30 years. We've got a Center for International Development, which just recently completed its 50th anniversary. So we've been there doing some of these activities for quite some time. And that's why United Nations chose us to become a partner. But of course, now part of WBC, you're now part of that ecosystem as well, because what we can do is easily engage, bring the United Nations Institute of Teaching and Research here as well, in trying to see how you can leverage some of that as well. So the ambition is great for WBC. There's a lot of things that we can do, but of course, we can only provide the platform. The research happens with you guys. You guys have to really look at those solutions, find a way to try and solve those problems. We can just provide the kind of platforms which hopefully we have. So I'll just end by thanking a few people, because it's very important. I do want to thank the Honourable Higher Education Minister, who inaugurated the WBC Centre, the academic block, and it's only because of his guidance, his advice, and his support that we've been able to do that, and I think it's quite important that we appreciate that. I do want to thank the University of Bangalore City University, the former Vice Chancellor, Professor Gandhi, and the current Vice Chancellor as well, because again, the space they've provided, the ecosystem that they've provided, the conversations that we've had over the last few years have only been happening because of their leadership. So really thank you so much for that as well. And lastly but not least, but I'd also like to thank the colleagues from the Karnataka State Higher Education Council, Dr. Shekhar, because again, he's been absolutely instrumental in shaping the whole WBC. And you've got to think about it. When 2 years back we said, wouldn't it be great if we had a center together? To actually opening a center, there's a lot of work that happens, and it only happens when you've got leaders like that supporting you in your visions. It's very easy to say things, but it's very hard to deliver things, so these are people who've actually delivered stuff for you. So again, thank you so much for that. Right, I will stop my rant. Like I said, I was not prepared. I was just told 2 minutes back that I need to say something, so I do apologize if I mumble a bit, but I do hope that you take this opportunity to engage with the Wolverhampton University colleagues, but also looking at how in the future we can engage together in doing some really, really impactful research, and that's what WBC is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for eloquently articulating the vision that guides this collaborative initiative and highlighting the role of research in achieving true sustainability.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರೀಕರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಭಿತ್ತಿಪತ್ರಗಳ ಮಾಡುವ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆಯನ್ನ ಏರ್ಪಡಿಸಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾದ ಭಿತ್ತಿಪತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಗಣ್ಯರು ಭಿತ್ತಿಪತ್ರಗಳ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಂಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸುಭಾಷಿಣಿ ಸುರೇಶ್. ಮೇ ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅ brief introduction about what this competition was all about.
Thank you. It's my immense pleasure to be here, and I'm not a newbie to this institution. I've been here before. Can I have a raise of hands? How many of you all have seen me? Fantastic, fantastic. So we've got our leaders who set their vision, so how do we do it? So the first step of it is the posters. So it is a co-creation of the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center with both the University of Wolverhampton and Bengaluru City University research students who have come together with the ideas and put it in the form of posters. So there are more than 40 posters that's on display. So please take time to look at these posters, which is rich in thinking, very creative, very innovative, how they put their research work in a one-page poster, which is A1 size, and it's very colorful as well. So what did we do? We came up with how do we have an output. All of you all would have heard about edited books, book of chapters, book of abstracts. But I think this is the only one that we've stretched out, saying book of posters. So what does that help? So all the posters have been collated and formed into a book. And this helps researchers not only now, but for the future generation. So that's going to be hosted in an open access via the University of Wolverhampton, called as the Intellectual Repository. So it will be an online version available. So that can be downloaded. The links can be sent to other people who are interested to do research. So what does that have? So we've talked so much about the inception of WBC, the leaders' vision, mission, and the core values. The theme that runs across today, you can see, is green innovation and future healthcare. So all the posters fall into these two brackets. And feel free to look into it. And also there is a judging panel. So what does the judging panel do? We want it to be fair, so none of us are going to be involved in the judging. There are 2 assessors for each of the posters. So we've got the committee members who would give out the judging panel, the paperwork, look at it, feel what you think honestly, and put the scores. There's 2 categories, 50 points for each category, totaling it up to 100. So at the end of the day, during the closing remarks, we will be giving out prizes for the best poster prize and then a few of the runners-up prize. So here I would like to propose the book of posters to be inaugurated. So the launch of the book of posters, please.
ಈಗ ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ನಡೆಯಲಿದೆ. ಗಣ್ಯರು ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಏರ್ಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಭಾಂಗಣದ ಹೊರಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸಬಹುದು.
Would like to congratulate all the participants in this poster printing competition, which has become a collaborative effort in bringing out this poster book.
So thanks again for everybody's effort, and we look forward to having more such things in the future through our collaboration.
I now invite Professor Lingaraja Gandhi sir, former Vice Chancellor of Bengaluru City University, a scholar whose efforts have left a lasting impact on the academic landscape of this university. I welcome you to address the gathering, sir.
Good morning to one and all. The most distinguished academic, researcher, and the visionary leader of Wolverhampton University, Wolverhampton, UK, Professor Abraham Adia, and Madam Vice Chancellor of Bengaluru City University, Professor Jalaja, and the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Prashant Pillai, and the 2 truly distinguished researchers who have been traveling around the world, connecting the countries, connecting the universities, connecting the university and the industries, connecting culture, economy and academics, Professor Suresh Renukappa and Professor Subhash Suresh, who are the strategic partners, instrumental in bringing together 2 universities, that is Bengaluru City University and Wolverhampton Universities. Both universities in a way share some common history, that is the heritage. You know, Wolverhampton University evolved from an institute, a mechanical institute which was started in 1827, 200 years ago. From that institute, it has evolved, transformed as a global university, one of the world-recognized leading research university, an inclusive university. And we have similar such story, Professor Ibrahim. This university, where it is located, the Central College, also has a history about more than 165 years. 1858 started as a school, Bangalore Central School, became the nucleus of University of Mysore, India's oldest, one of the oldest universities, that is University of Mysore. And this was the nucleus, Central College was the nucleus. So as universities, we may be new, but as institutions of higher learning, we share a similar history. And we have on the dais my former colleague and the Registrar Administration, who has really been proactive in supporting the university's all academic activities. Sriti Javagowda, as a state administrative officer, is from the senior rank. And my colleague couldn't somehow, Professor Ramesh, the Registrar Evaluation, is an academic, also a professor of social work, and we have a very strong social science departments on campus, and he couldn't be here. And we have the International Student Office Nodal Officer and the Dean of Faculty of Arts, who is also the Director of Center for Global Languages, where we have 14 foreign languages on campus. That is Professor Jyoti Venkatesh. And in front of us, we have Professor Chandrasekhar, who also is the Executive Director, who has also visited the Wolverhampton University on their invitation. We have the honorable members of the syndicate, which is a governing body, which is very, very important in all our academic activities. We are all the very senior academic and respectable honorable members of the syndicate. We have deans of faculty and teachers. We have a very vibrant teaching community. Although we say the permanent or few, but we have a very young, dynamic, innovative kind of teaching community here. And we have principals of the colleges, and you should know the colleges are the backbone of the university. That's where our student strength comes from. There are about 240 colleges affiliated to us, and about 140,000 students doing undergraduate, postgraduate, diploma, doctoral programs. So we have both students and the principals and the directors of the management institutes here with us. And most importantly, I'm so happy that we have our entire student community vibrant, innovative, really creative. You have seen their creativity in the book of posters. It is their participation. They're creative, innovative, enterprising. We've seen that. And all this is essentially, all our collaborations, partnership is centered around, it is student-centric university that has been, and we have members of the media. Again, they have been playing a very, very important connect. And all the invitees, and we have experts from the industry who will be participating in the panel discussion, and the professional organizations, community organizations, they will all be part of this. There are many NGOs, non-governmental organizations participating in it. While I appreciate and salute you for this overwhelming response, such a overwhelming response, and is so very well organized by my former colleagues, the community of the BCU, and the participation of the students is very, very crucial, sir, in this. Well, you all know that this university started functioning independently, say, really creatively since 1819, and 2 years we were affected by the global pandemic. So therefore there was such a big challenge how to rebuild the university with such a great legacy at the heart of Bengaluru city, which is our proud heritage. This is the proud asset of the city and the state and the country, this great institution, Central College. And it also coincided with the changing education policies. 2.5 years ago, it all began. And it is the initiative of the state of the government of Karnataka. The government of Karnataka initiated that how to strengthen the public university. This is a public university, and we are essentially guided by the 5 principles of higher education, that is to provide access to higher education, provide access, to increase access, and equitable access, equity, quality, and accountability and affordability. These are the 5 pillars on which the public higher education especially should be disseminated. And to achieve these objectives, it's not possible just for the government alone. It required collaboration, required partnerships. So that's how the government, through Higher Education Council, started engaging the universities, started engaging the universities within the country, outside the country, started promoting collaborations, MOUs with industries. And it is in this backdrop to serve the student community. The student community and a public university, although it is called city university, they are majority from the marginalized, underprivileged, socio-economic, educational background. How to empower them, how to give them skills, how to give them knowledge, how to make them powerful, independent, self-reliant, how to give them quality teaching, learning, how to provide infrastructure. These were the challenges. And therefore, when we were exploring the MOUs, exploring the possibilities, where all we can go, where all we can reach in order to rebuild the university, restore the past, the glory, and connect the university with the city, with the industry, with the community, and connect it locally and globally. It was then 2.5 years ago when I was participating in the Leadership Development Program sponsored by the British Council. We are one of the universities chosen for the program. Here, a wonderful opportunity to visit 12 UK universities across UK, Scotland, Wales, England. It was then when we were exploring possibilities, understanding the culture, Wolverhampton University, Professor Suresh Redikappa was a Bengalurian, did his PhD from IASC, and Subhashini. Somehow they introduced me to that university. Again, you should know that university was Chancellor of the university, Swaraj Paul, a member of the House of Lords, Lord Paul, Chancellor of this university. And there's a large Indian community, Asian community. It's a university with a difference, university which promotes inclusivity, university which is open to ideas, collaboration, and to partner, to help. And that's how taking interest in India, taking interest in Bangalore began. Since 2.5 years, there have been number of activities engaging students, engaging our faculty, researchers, the administration. There have been a good number of interactions with our own faculty, including affiliated colleges. The areas of engagement include environment, health, energy, technology, and in the last visit, the University of Wolverhampton was so generous enough to sponsor 6 visitors, including Deputy Chief Minister, who is also heading the brand Bangalore. And for brand Bangalore, our university is the knowledge partner. And Wolverhampton City is interested in the expertise in smart cities. DC was invited, Education Minister was invited, KSHEC was invited, Principal Secretaries were invited, and our own affiliated college Principal Professor Jasmine were invited. And they hosted a seminar called Beyond Futures, Festival of Research and Innovation. Such a meaningful, purposeful event. And we have been publishing jointly right from the beginning. The BCU's name is there in the global publications. Giant publications, conducted programs in association with the government of Karnataka, especially health sector, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, conducted outside Bangalore, conducted in association with TERI, again one of the important, and we have engaged the government, the industry, and the academic institutions, our students and all that. So it is such a generous gesture on the part of Wolverhampton University. I'm on behalf of the university, I'm really thankful to you for extending all the support, even for our Net Zero International Conference. They were here, even this particular event. We have the symposium next on other important aspects, themes, future healthcare and green innovation, engaging again the industry and the academia. This is being jointly hosted. They are also playing the role of hosts. I am here as a former Vice Chancellor, as an invitee from both sides.
So it's so great of you. This relationship has to continue. It is not just between two universities, it is also between two cities. And it is among this is multiple connect, a kind of relationship. Our city industries, both service industries and the manufacturing industries, to achieve the goal, the global goal of sustainability, innovation, and the future development, is essentially based on energy, is so crucial. So therefore, it is not possible just through academic research alone, and it is only through collaborative efforts, engaging the industries, but also the communities, society around, because awareness creation is so important. And this is a multidisciplinary university. It's not, in a sense, just technical universities. It's a multidisciplinary university. We should also know it's a university with a difference in the sense it has a very strong arts faculty, social sciences, education, health, well-being, very important area. And we being a public university, where we also focus on social sciences and humanities, creating industries. In private sector, it's technical and professional kind of programs. We are a public universities. Even now, good number of students from, if you take the Indian scene, even now 35% of the enrollment in public education, higher education is from arts. Even now, 35%. Engineering is only 14%. So, a large section of the Indian higher education is in arts. And with innovative technologies, where AI has made inroads into all aspects of life, all domains, here is a university which has made a global impact in terms of technology, chosen by UN itself, is here to guide, to support, to help. A public university, you should know it's a public university. And it's a great gesture, wonderful gesture. Sir, our public university's goal is equity, social justice, and affordable education. And education, research which is relevant to society as such. So therefore, this dimension of public university, you are well aware of it, and you have been well supported, because finally it's all about ideas and coming together of ideas, and we all know the importance of AI in all sectors, whether it is arts, commerce, and business, science. I'm so happy that Wolverhampton University and such a distinguished Vice Chancellor is here with his team and giving his time and his mind interacting with the government as well, different, because to achieve the goals, the purpose of education, it is not possible with the university efforts alone. We need cooperation and collaboration. So with these words, I'm really overwhelmed with a sense of joy that my wonderful colleagues could do this in such a magnificent manner, and the way the entire student community has participated, my faculty have participated in organizing it, shows their commitment for education. Education is power, and we are here to support you, energize you, help you in fulfilling the ambitions of the aspirations of the higher education. While I have to recall all this, I really thank BCU and Wolverhampton University and all my colleagues, students for this wonderful opportunities. I wish this will continue further, the bond is strengthened further, therefore we can grow together globally and serve the society. Thank you so much.
Wolverhampton-Bengaluru ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಲಿಂಗರಾಜ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು. ಅವರಿಂದಲೇ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ದೊರಕಿದೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತು ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯಗಳನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್.
Thank you, Professor Gandhi, sir, for your pursuance and continuous efforts in making Bengaluru City University global by a lot of such collaborations.
May I now request Professor Ibrahim Adya, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Chief Executive Officer, University of Wolverhampton, to please address the gathering.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Vice Chancellors, past and present, distinguished guests, members of the syndicate, deans, members of faculty, staff and students. I'm going to change my note here because I had written down good morning, but it's now good afternoon, and namaskar. I have to say it gives me great pleasure to be here with you today at this distinguished university. I had heard a lot about Bangalore City University, but again, listening to Professor Gandhi makes me so proud that we have this partnership with a university that has such a long history, such a long tradition, and most importantly, does such amazing work for the city of Bangalore. You know, I am absolutely delighted to be here, so thank you to the university. I'm also delighted to be here in the city of Bangalore, which is rightly named as the Silicon Valley of Asia. And again, I'm very proud that the city of Wolverhampton is here today in that wider partnership with the city of Bangalore. I'm also delighted that I'm here today with my own colleagues who've been working in this partnership for the last 2-3 years. Professor Prashant Rai, that you've already heard from, Professor Suresh Ranakappa and Professor Subha Suresh. And we've come here in the spirit of collaboration, exploration, and above all, friendship. You'll all be aware that the historical ties between India and the UK go back a very, very long way, go back centuries. So it's only natural that when universities that look to internationalize like we do, we turn towards each other. In our endeavour, and this is the really important bit, that in our endeavour to improve the lives of our citizens and to tackle the so-called wicked problems that we're all trying to address in our own respective communities. And it is in this context that I am delighted that we have established and are today launching the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Centre for Research and Innovation. The centre will initially focus on future healthcare and green technologies, as you've heard, but over time we expect that we will broaden our focus onto inclusive communities. And the centre will serve as a vehicle not only for bringing together leading researchers from our two universities, but will also create an important interface for collaboration both with industry and with government, and will support joint research and publications, innovation and commercialisation, and international conferences and joint PhDs. I'm also very confident that the Centre will serve as an important springboard for much wider partnership working, which will be underpinned by our Memorandum of Understanding that we have created with the Karnataka State of Higher Education Council, with Bengaluru City University, with Bangalore University, and many of the affiliated colleges. And it's certainly my hope and expectation that we will launch further research centres in the state. Yesterday we were talking about working in partnership to launch some medical research and clinical trials unit as an example. And we'll also, I'm sure, develop some interesting interfaces and partnerships with industry. And over time, I am really keen that we'll establish a campus, University of Wolverhampton campus in the state of Karnataka. So plenty for us to work on. I'd like to finish, and this is really important, by expressing my sincere gratitude to Professor Gandhi, the former Vice-Chancellor of Bengaluru City University, for his vision, his support and his friendship. I'm pretty confident this partnership would not have been possible without his vision and his support. And I'm also very confident that the partnerships that will blossom over the next years and decades with the University of Wolverhampton in India will be one of your many lasting legacies. So thank you, Professor Gandhi. Thank you to the university. And thank you all.
Now a privilege whose exceptional leadership and vision have created global bridges of knowledge, making this Indo-UK partnership a reality.
ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಇಬ್ರಾಹಿಂ ಆದ್ಯ ಅವರಿಗೆ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಸಜ್ಜುಗೊಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. I request Professor Adya sir to be seated for the felicitation ceremony. Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Exchange, University of Wolverhampton, will be felicitated by Bangalore City University.
Professor Lingaraj Gandhi Sir by University of Wolverhampton. Professor Lingaraj Gandhi Sir, an esteemed academician and former Vice Chancellor for his efforts in advancing international academic exchange and fostering innovation at the university level. University of Wolverhampton extend our sincere gratitude for your enduring guidance, sir. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಜಲಜಾ, ನಮ್ಮ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಜಲಜಾ ಅವರನ್ನು ಸನ್ಮಾನಿಸಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ವೋಲ್ವರ್ಹ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಟನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅವರು. Wolverhampton University is felicitating our Vice Chancellor, Professor Jalja. Academic leader driving this institution forward. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಜಲಜಾ ಅವರು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷೀಯ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Dignitaries on the dais representing University of Wolverhampton and our former Vice Chancellor, and the representatives of Wolverhampton University, Dr. Subhashin ma'am and Dr. Suresh, who have created the roadmap between BCU and University of Wolverhampton in the area of research and innovation. That's how we have all assembled here this morning to know the reason for the research center being established at BCU. We are very fortunate and thankful to you, sir, for creating this opportunity at BCU and helping our students and faculty to take up research of this generation and address the problems of the local community as well as at the international level. Research is an ongoing process where there's a never-ending, activity which goes on and on. So also is the process of learning, where we have learn, unlearn and relearn. As the logo of our university goes, be boundless. So we have started this journey of being boundless, where we have made a commitment that we are going to take up research at international level. And I'm sure that with this collaborative activities, we are definitely going to make it possible, and all our faculty members of the university, the affiliated colleges, and the students, the research scholars, have eminent, innovative ideas in them where they are capable of getting patents for the work. Our scholars, I'm very proud to say that even our scholars have been successful in getting patents. We have a large number of patents that have been taken or achieved by our faculty members at affiliated colleges, which is a very important beginning for the research at international level. So this creation, the co-creation of the research center, I'm sure is going to help all of us to reach this international level, crossing the boundaries of the country and meeting the requirements at international level. So when we talk about the co-creation of activities and the potential of our faculty members or the teachers or the students, we can just look behind and check the roots where it starts from. In India, we have the research being carried out for centuries together, and even during the, where we didn't have much of technology, or we didn't have the science and technology being developed to this extent, when you start with the beginning, we can just simply recall our contribution or the Indian ancient contribution to the research and development, where we identified the concept of zero. Zero was the contribution from India. Aryabhatta has contributed to the numerical value of zero, where we can proudly say even today it has got its value in making an assessment for any aspect. Similarly, decimals were found or invented by Indians. So we have very strong roots in the process of invention. So today we are talking about sustainability. Sustainability is not a new concept for Indians, because we have been into sustainable practices for generations together, where our culture has got a lot of sustainable practices in it. So be it the way we start our life right in the morning, we start with doing yoga. Today, yoga is considered as an international activity. So that means we have got strong roots in inventing something and taking it to the international level. So we could have many such examples where we can say that we had the oldest university, Takshashila University in India, which is world popular for its research, and so many centuries ago we were capable or we were successful in inviting students, or we had visitors from all over Asia who visited the Takshashila University, and the research was carried out, and that's how it is recorded even in history. So I'm sure that this event of Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center is going to create history in the world records, and we are going to be very successful through this center, and I'm sure we should be very thankful to Professor Gandhi, who was the person behind all these ideas and who was helping. He had helped us a lot to reach the long way, and that's how it is because of Professor Gandhi, sir, that even our students have got an opportunity to visit UK, where they could spend 15 days, where they could have the co-creation of ideas. Practically, they could exhibit their skills, and that's how we could get recognition also. Similarly, we had many projects that were sanctioned, and sir was the person who could get the Smart Cities project being awarded for his leadership skills, and Madam Ritika was also being invited for her research activity. So this center, I'm sure, is going to open up the way for many such young scholars and researchers, and take up the research activities at a higher level and reach their heights and get more number of patents and get recognized at the international level. I'm sure all these are going to happen with the able guidance of all senior persons on the dais and the cooperation of all the members of our colleges, the members of the syndicate, the academic council and the student representatives. Unless students take part in all the research activities, we cannot be successful. So we need the student participation, and that's why we have assembled all 8 students here, and we want them to listen to what is the idea behind creation of this center and how that could be useful for them to grow further and reach higher heights in their field of intellectuality and grow for the higher levels of their academic progress. With these few words, I thank for the opportunity and thank all the members of UK team, and further we also expect such cooperation in the future. Sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words of wisdom and unwavering support to establish this Research and Innovation Center today.
ಈಗ ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ ಅವರು ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ.
And of the dais on this momentous occasion of the inaugural of the Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation and the launch of the International Symposium on Smart Green Innovation and Future Healthcare, it gives me immense pleasure to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank our Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Dr. M.C. Sudhakar, who made time to come and inaugurate the center office in the new academic block. I thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank our Honorable Minister for Medical Education, Dr. Sharan Prakash R. Patil, for sending his words of encouragement on the opening of this center. I really thank you very much, sir. It is indeed my privilege to extend a very warm thank you to Professor Ibrahim Adlin, the Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chief Executive Officer, University of Wolverhampton, UK, who has come all the way to be with us today as our chief guest on this momentous occasion of the launch of the center and the International Symposium. A very warm thank you very much, sir. It is my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to Professor Lingaraj Gandhi, sir, our former Vice Chancellor, Bengaluru City University, without whose vision and his brainchild, today this center would not be in existence. Sir, I really extend a very warm thank you to you. It is my privilege to extend a very warm thank you to Professor Prashant Pillai, Pro Vice Chancellor for Research and Knowledge Exchange, University of Wolverhampton, UK, who is with us today on this momentous occasion. Thank you very much, sir. It is for me a very proud moment to thank our first woman Vice Chancellor, Professor K.R. Jalja, for accepting to preside over on this occasion. Madam, I extend you a very warm thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank our two very special guests from UK, Professor Suresh Renukappa, sir, Director of Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation, and Professor Subhashini Suresh, Madam, Strategic Advisor for India Partnership, University of Wolverhampton, UK, who have been with us, I think, in the last 2.5 years, making this dream come a reality. Madam and sir, thank you very much for being here with us today. I, of course, take this occasion to thank our Honorable Registrar Sir, Shri Javare Sir, who has been always very supportive and giving us all a lot of support and giving us a lot of ideas how to take forward the programs. Sir, thank you very much for your support. I would also like to thank our Registrar Evaluation, Professor B. Ramesh, who has been part of the organizing team, and without his support and dedication, we could not have put today this program into place. I thank him in his absence, Professor Ramesh, for this initiative. I would also like to thank Mrs. Vijayalakshmi MV, the Finance Officer. Without her support, this program could not have been implemented. I thank her in her absence. I also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Chandrasekhar Sir, the Chief Executive from KSHEC. Sir, without your support and guidance, this thing would have not come into existence. Thank you very much, sir, for your continuous support. I would also like to thank the honorable members of the syndicate, the academic council, deans of the faculty, chairpersons present here, teaching and non-teaching staff faculty members who are present here today. Thank you one and all for being here with us today. I would like to thank the members of the organizing committee who have made a lot of efforts in putting this program today. Professor Ritika Sinha, Professor Nirmala, Professor Chetna, Dr. Tando Gora, Professor Ramesh Kudanati, Professor Ramegana, and of course all the chairmen of the department who are present here, who have been supporting us and giving us all their inputs all around. Thank you one and all. It is also my privilege to thank the friends from the media who have been covering this program, and also thank all our distinguished guests who have come here today for the discussion, and all the panelists who have agreed to be here with us today for the symposium, which will be taking part in the afternoon. And I request all of you to stay back because we have some very eminent speakers who have agreed to be with us today for two very important panel discussions. One is on the future healthcare and one is on the green innovation. I thank each one of them who is present here today. I also take this opportunity to thank all the students who are here today for making this function a grand success. All the persons who have contributed either in the way to make this program a successful. I thank each one of them, whether it is the non-teaching staff, the members of the cleaning staff, the members of the staff who have taken care of the food. And I would like to particularly mention here that today's food and all the tea and snacks, whatever is going to be served today, has been sponsored by the University of Wolverhampton. So I would like to personally thank them for this initiative. As now we come to the official program end of this program, I would request all the students to stay back, because there is a wonderful presentation on the showcasing of University of Wolverhampton and Bengaluru City University's research projects that we are envisaging in the future and through this center. And in the meanwhile, the dignitaries will be proceeding towards the poster area to have a look at the posters, and they will also be engaging with the members from the industry and academia who have made time with us to be with us today for informal discussion in the boardroom. Once and all, I thank each and every one of you present here today for making this program such a grand success. Thank you very much, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. The dignitaries now will proceed towards the postal display area and followed by a group discussion in the boardroom, whereas the students will remain seated here for a small presentation for just a few minutes.
not recorded where you can go home and or in your free time listen, so it's a one-time opportunity. So let's make the best of use of this. Are you all with me on this? Louder, please. How about the center of the room? Towards my left? Oh, let's be in it together. Right. So far we've been looking into publication based on COVID. I'm sure each and everyone in this room is
gone through that period. Some of us, it's been very challenging. Up and about, how does the sector in which you're studying on that? And another paper was business models for smart cities. So how do businesses change their models? The next one was on
managing knowledge. So here we're talking about artificial intelligence, cybersecurity. How do you take that forward in terms of knowledge? Students, may I request you all to put your phones on the silent mode, and if you all can pay a few minutes attention. I'm not going to talk when you talk. Right. So we have interacted with the staff and research center, research student from the past 3 years. It started in 2023, going forward 24, 25, and in the future we want you all to be part of it. And that is where I'm saying, listen very carefully how you all can be part of this journey. Yeah. How you can be part, University of Wolverhampton has got a stand and Bhavna is there, so feel free to interact with her in terms of how you all can do. These are some examples that we've interacted. I'll go forward. Well. Yeah, so please see this video. This is decarbonization in the healthcare. So please listen carefully.
NHS is the UK's largest employer and one of its biggest carbon emitters. To reach net zero by 2040, we need more than ambition, we need innovation. The circular study brings together AI experts, healthcare leaders and patients to develop smart, sustainable solutions across the NHS's people, property and patients. AI-powered labels guide staff toward low-carbon choices, nudging green behaviour at every purchase. Digital replicas of NHS buildings help cut energy waste, potentially saving £100 million annually. Remote care reduces travel emissions and improves patient outcomes. 50,000 plus tonnes of CO2 saved per year. Backed by NHS leaders and trusted by patients, this scalable innovation will cut costs, reduce emissions and improve care, all while building a net zero ready NHS. Support the circular study. Together let's decarbonise healthcare for the NHS, for patients, for our planet. Credit the circular study with HR 2025 net zero NHS. Fund and support us. Together we strive for the best for NHS and patients. The NHS is the...
Yeah, you can start. Okay, a question for you all. Since I requested you all to listen carefully, what is the full form of NHS? No Google, no search engines. National Health Service. Whoever said 100 points. Very good. Right. So, which subject areas you are studying? Management, raise of hands? Few? What other subjects are there? Chemistry? Computer science? And who else are there in the room? Commerce? Yeah? Sociology? Come on, raise your hands. Journalism? Yeah? Right. So all these fields, net zero is very important. And that relates to the health sector. Let it be commerce, let it be finance, let it be social science, let it be computer science. So in this project, we are getting all that together for the decarbonization of healthcare. No mobile phones, please. You won't know the importance of this today. Maybe in 20 years' time you will say that. Right. And these are some of the projects that we are looking into. Exploring the dual challenge of AI, artificial intelligence adoption, and decarbonization in the intensive care unit. So you know who goes into the intensive care unit? Who goes there? Hale, healthy people apart from the doctors and nurses don't go there. Anybody who's really ill. So how do we adopt AI in that setup? And how do we look to reduce carbon in that setup? We've also looked into medical waste. So what is medical waste? Any idea? Yes, what is it? Disposal, absolutely, of what? Syringes, gloves, aprons, yeah? So how can we look into that supply chain to reduce the carbon emission? But how can we look into the behavioral changes so that people using those things reduce waste? We're also looking at a higher level, leadership. How do leaders influence the change of behaviors, especially when you're looking into adoption of technology and adoption of initiatives such as sustainability and green innovation? So I've got a video on this. Please hear very carefully. And this is something we're doing at University of Wolverhampton with the help of the government initiatives. So each member who attends this event is fully subsidized, and it is for entrepreneurs.
Warm greetings to our colleagues and partners in India. My name is Sean Starr, and I am the co-lead at a Management Research Centre with a focus on knowledge exchange at the University of Wolverhampton Business School. It is a great pleasure to connect with you today to explore how leadership, particularly strategic leadership, can shape the future of our institutions and more broadly contribute to India's dynamic national development journey. Today I will briefly introduce our university leadership expertise and highlight ways we can work together to empower future-ready leaders across sectors. India stands at a pivotal moment in its development, rapidly rising as a global economic and innovation powerhouse. National missions such as Skills India, Make in India and Digital India all underscore one unifying theme: the urgent need for visionary, adaptable and strategic leadership. Effective leadership is not simply a skill, it is a catalyst for navigating complexity, accelerating innovation and ensuring sustainable development. At the university leaders, we play a key role in developing this capacity at scale. The Management Research Centre Executive Education Platform is part of the University of Wolverhampton Business School. We bring over 80 years of experience in cultivating resilient, forward-thinking leaders whose impact spans industry, government, education and healthcare. What sets us apart is our ability to leverage the full strength of the university, bringing together world-class expertise from all three faculties. Within the Faculty of Arts, Business and Social Sciences, we drive innovation in strategic leadership and beyond. Within the Faculty of Education, Health and Wellbeing, we support leadership transformation research, particularly in healthcare and wider. Within the Faculty of Science and Engineering, we have cutting-edge expertise in sustainable leadership. This interdisciplinary approach ensures our leadership programs reflect real-world complexity and sectorial integration. Our approach is underpinned by research, shaped by industry demands and aligned with global leadership challenges. Allow me to introduce one of our most impactful programs, the Strategic Leadership and Management Program. This program, again, brings experts from the breadth of the university, including science, engineering, healthcare, as well as business. It is designed to help professionals and institutions build leadership capacity that is resilient, forward-thinking and aligned with the demands of today's complex environment. The programme is structured across 6 key themes. It begins with the foundations of sustainable leadership, strategic leadership, where participants explore leadership theories, styles and self-assess their leadership capabilities, particularly valuable in high-stakes sectors like healthcare, engineering, etc. The second module, Leadership and Crisis Management, focuses on the innovation and problem solving in times of uncertainty. Whether we're responding to public health crisis or managing large-scale engineering risks, this module prepares leaders to act decisively and sustain team performance. Innovation business models for sustainability addresses the urgent need for sustainable practices, equipping leaders to meet net zero targets and lead green transformation in their organisations. In knowledge leadership, we examine how to harness both tacit and explicit knowledge to drive innovation and improve service delivery, critical in sectors that rely on expertise, data and continual learning. The digital transformation leadership module helps leaders manage change as they adopt AI, digital systems and emerging technologies essential for sectors undergoing rapid digital disruption. Within the inclusive leadership module, we emphasise the importance of building diverse, equitable teams that reflect the communities we serve and inspire innovation through inclusion. Together, these modules build a comprehensive leadership toolkit, global in outlook, but tailored to local priorities. The programme can be adapted to institutional context with particular relevance, possibly to government, public sectors, finance, healthcare and engineering sectors and beyond. India's key growth sectors, healthcare, engineering, digital technologies, sustainability, finance and public administration require leaders who can act strategically and think systematically. This programme is designed to meet those needs. Our programme develops a framework, supports India's national ambitions, including infrastructure modernisation, digital transformation, financial inclusion, public sector reform, inclusive and sustainable growth. Whether we are preparing leaders for the future in government, public finance, social enterprise, or technical industries, our approach is never off the shelf. It is flexible, context-specific, and tailored to institutional sectoral priorities. This programme enhances strategic thinking, builds leadership culture, and improves organisational performance, particularly around sustainability, resilience, and workforce retention. The design is evidence-based and outcome-driven. Participants not only gain insights, they build strategies that lead to measurable impact in their teams, departments, organisation and wider communities. What sets us apart is our unique combination of academic credibility and practical relevance. We are an internationally recognised university known for our research-rich and practical-led curriculums. Our faculties and networks bring global expertise into every programme, informed by deep experience in leadership development, systems thinking and innovation. This makes us an ideal partner for institutions seeking transformational capacity building. At the University of Wolverhampton, we recognise that leadership is the driving force behind organisational performance, especially in complex, fast-changing sectors. We recognise the real impact happens through partnership and that leadership development is most powerful when it's co-created with those closest to the challenge. This is achieved through partnership development, collaborative research, developing workshops and meeting institutional needs. We're inviting forward-thinking partners to work with us, to shape the journey of leaders, to support continuous improvement and organisational learning. Thank you for taking the time to explore this opportunity. We look forward to further conversations and I hope we can build partnerships that empower leaders and drive change. In India,
the UK and beyond. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Question to you all. Who was the presenter? Can you all name me the presenter? Sean is the first name and Star is the surname. Okay? He was my PhD student looking into leadership. Okay? So you can see how research enables industry. And now we've got industry professionals doing this course with us, which is highly subsidized from the government, to get them to par with the skills capacity building aspect. So you can be one of them in the future. So going back to our slides, we are also involved in projects in India looking into the Ayushman Digital Health Mission. How many of you all have got the card? Is that all? Have you not got your health card? ABBA card? Raise of hands? Honestly, I thought 100% would have. Okay, homework for the day. Please apply for the ABBA card. It is so helpful. No, Aadhaar is your usual PAN card. This is ABBA card for the health. It is not mandatory, but you get benefits. That's what surprises me. Oh. Again, it is your self-interest, but what I've seen, it really helps because of the data it captures. And for us, the UK citizens, we've got Right. We've got a framework where you can walk into any hospitals anywhere in the country and they will pick up your health records. What does that mean? In case of emergency, they will know your blood group, your previous ailments, and they can treat the patient appropriately at the time that is very crucial. So similarly, India has got the Ayushman Digital Mission where you put your information. I do know it's voluntary, but please make use of that. And there's a lot of work that we are doing from the research side. So if you're interested, again, let it be commerce, let it be computer science, let it be management. AI is not built in yet. So we are seeing what could be better in terms of the Ayushman Digital Mission to help the framework go forward. Right. Then we've got adoption of digital healthcare strategies in the UK health sector. In the UK, citizens need not go to the doctor. We can take an appointment on the phone and they will ask us whether is it important for us to come to the clinic or whether it can be done via video call. So because of the data they have on us, date of birth, contact number, they will contact us and we can have a video call. There is no need for us to go and collect the prescription. The medicines will be prescribed, it will be sent to the pharmacy, i.e. the chemist shop, and all the citizens have to do is to go to the nearest chemist, collect the medicine. But that will be attached to your address. So the identification is your name and your address. That's all is required. So how do we improve that system to go further in terms of blood sugar monitoring? So what we are working on is some of the technologies that again will have a control system in the NHS that will have red, amber, green, where suddenly there's a spike of sugar levels, then the doctors get a flag and they will look into the history and if need be, immediately call the patient in. And if need be, medications will be prescribed. So that is the way digitalization in healthcare is going forward for the benefits of the citizens. So the question is, what is it for you all as students? So that's the way the future is going. So let it be commerce, computer science, or management, all these plays a role within it. In terms of your computer science, how does the platform work? How does the components within that work? For us, in terms of sustainability and digitalization, how much carbon footprint is saved from the patients to go to the hospital, come back, go to the pharmacy, then go home, rather than just go to the nearest pharmacy. Okay? We also do greater in-depth research in terms of our Research Institute of Health Sciences. Again, this is a recording from my colleague involved. I sincerely request you all to pay attention, again, for the benefit of you and for your future. Please. Apirada. Volume increases.
Risk assurance. We're a vibrant community of scientists, clinicians, other health professionals.
Can you all hear at the back, please?
Dedicated to impactful research, improvement.
No?
There are three main interconnected
We'll try and increase it.
These are clinical translational medicine and mechanisms of disease.
If you can't hear and you're really interested, come forward.
Collaborative links with other research centres within
Get up from your cozy seats and come forward, please. You all can hear?
institutions. These collaborative efforts have led and continue to lead to beneficial impact across the broad field of healthcare. Our clinical and translational medicine team is at the heart of this and is led by our clinical professors, who are both University of Wolverhampton academics and clinicians working in local hospitals. We work with NHS partners and national trials, designing new clinical studies, bringing research insight to the forefront of care across a broad range of clinical specialities. Our neonatology group is addressing vital questions around preterm birth and early care. Projects like Optifriend and Stork involve optimising where babies are born and educating school-aged children about healthy future families. And we're tackling health inequalities by partnering directly with affected communities. The Wolverhampton Molecular and Translational Cardiovascular Research Group is pioneering remote patient monitoring technologies and apps that enable timely clinical interventions, directly improving cardiac patient care. A good example of this is the Appraise app, which enables remote monitoring of patients with aortic stenosis. And historically, these patients often die before treatment is provided. But we're trialling the Appraise remote monitoring app to better time heart valve surgeries by receiving real-time patient feedback. These innovations are not just technical, they're changing how and when people receive life-saving care right from their homes. Working across specialisms, we're adapting our digital tools like the Appraise app to support patients with conditions such as inflammatory bowel disease and those patients who require orthopaedic surgery. This is enhancing patient outcomes through real-time monitoring. In partnership with local NHS cardiology teams and sports scientists at the University of Wolverhampton, our Exit-Loco trial is studying whether structured exercise can reduce symptoms in patients with angina. This is a brilliant example of simple, low-cost interventions that could have wide-ranging benefits, so our trial is ongoing. Our clinical gastroenterology team, working closely with molecular biologists in our laboratories, have led studies and clinical trials that have informed and changed clinical practice. Our team is leading research into the effects of iron in cancer care, from surgery to palliative settings. This work has not only led to new clinical trials, but also engages communities directly affected by anemia to make sure our research truly reflects their needs and experiences. And for inflammatory bowel disease significantly impacts quality of life, especially during sensitive periods, such as pregnancy. We're addressing these challenges through collaborative research. In partnership with institutions across the United Kingdom, we're exploring how inflammatory bowel disease affects pregnancy outcomes. Our goal is to generate insights that directly inform clinical practice, ensuring healthier futures for mothers and their babies. We work with international collaborators. For example, our partnership in Somaliland addressing non-communicable diseases through healthcare workforce training, policy development, and the establishment of specialised research and training institutes, such as Sintress. I'd like to talk now about the second of our research themes, the mechanisms of disease. So our fundamental research explores disease mechanisms through genomic, cell and molecular biology. We also have a strong reputation for investigating disease therapeutics and novel delivery systems. So collaboration with our clinical teams ensures that this research remains relevant, internationally competitive. In the next slides, I'd like to show you just a few of our projects. We're using cutting-edge genomic technologies to unravel complex chronic genetic disorders. An example of this is polycystic kidney disease. We're linking specific genetic markers to disease severity and clinical presentation. By identifying these genotype-phenotype correlations, we aim to improve patient diagnostics, personalised treatments, and ultimately enhance outcomes. Through advanced genomic studies, our team explores the underlying genetic causes and the variability in disease manifestation. Our research helps clinicians predict disease progression accurately, tailor patient care, and potentially introduce targeted genetic therapies in the future. Looking ahead, our genomic research group continues to explore innovative applications of next-generation sequencing technologies. Together with collaborators, we aim to translate genomic insights into real-world healthcare improvements. Reese has a long and successful history in cancer research, often focusing on difficult-to-treat cancers such as brain tumours, mesothelioma, pancreatic cancer. We also investigate the molecular evolution of metastatic progression. This research has led to a better molecular understanding of these diseases and provided novel molecular pathways that can be targeted therapeutically. Our oncology team is also recognised internationally for their work in repurposing existing drugs as potential cancer therapies and developing new innovative delivery systems. So cancer is still a very difficult problem, but with worldwide collaborations, we're making important contributions to this field. In collaboration with our clinical gastroenterology team, our laboratory scientists are investigating the critical relationship between iron metabolism, the gut microbiome, and the immune response to gastrointestinal diseases. Our studies have demonstrated that targeted iron treatment effectively reduces systematic inflammation in patients with colorectal cancer and iron deficiency anemia. This work offers promising new pathways for treating inflammation-driven gut conditions. Our recent clinical trial has evaluated cholesterol, which is an oral bile acid sequestrant, as an innovative treatment for Crohn's disease. Remarkably, patients receiving cholesterol showed restored normal bacterial diversity and clinical improvement. Importantly, this treatment resulted in both clinical and endoscopic remission within 6 months following surgery, significantly reducing the risk of disease relapse. Moving forward, our research aims to deepen our understandings of how altering gut microbiome can influence disease progression and remission. The third and most recent of our research themes in race is bioengineering. Through bioengineering, we are advancing regenerative medicine, tissue modelling and therapeutic delivery. Collaborative efforts with the engineering teams at the University of Wolverhampton have led to advances in materials such as biocompatible 3D printed tissue scaffolds. The bioengineering teams work closely with both the clinical and molecular mechanism teams across many of our projects. several neurodegenerative disorders associated with aggregates of proteins in the cells of the brain, we will show that neural biopolymers shows a promise in treating these neurodegenerative diseases, but clearly these harmful protein aggregates form these cells. You can see here these cells are containing a lot of these aggregates. The protein aggregates are in green. As we add our increase in concentrations of gamma-PGA, our biopolymer, the aggregates are removed from these brain cells. So we're hoping that this may be a potential novel treatment for disorders such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. In collaboration with our engineering teams at Wolverhampton, we have been developing patient-specific artificial bone implants and sophisticated tissue scaffolds by 3D printing. We're now testing how well human cells will grow on these 3D printed scaffolds, and so far the results are very encouraging. We hope that this work will lead for improvements in healing and clinical outcomes in orthopedics. Other members of our bioengineering teams are developing novel scaffolds and 3D tissue printing to model both healthy tissue and produce three-dimensional tumour models. This work is essential to improve our understanding of disease, moving research beyond the artificiality of two-dimensional cell cultures. And this team is collaborating with many researchers across the whole of the Research Institute. So collaboration is central to our success. We collaborate with universities and institutions across the world, whilst also maintaining very close links to our local communities to ensure that our research delivers real-world benefits, improving lives and health outcomes. I'd like to thank you today for your attention.
So, what is in it for y'all? What did y'all make of this? And what can we offer? So we got myself and Suresh as a team from University of Wolverhampton, along with our Vice Chancellor and Pro-Vice Chancellor, but also Bhavna, who is outside in the entrance. She's got a little space. So anybody interested in any of these that we presented today, feel free to contact her, provided you'll have taken the name and who presented it. Yeah? So please name the presenter now that talked about the Research Institute of Health Science. Yeah? Any other takers? I did lip read, but who was the presenter? Mark Morris. Dr. Mark Morris, he is the director of the Research Institute of Health Science. And the words EU, we are very good in oncology, research in cancer, and also the research works that has been showed in the presentation. So again, based on your interest, and if you see your pathway of education can be linked to that, please feel free to get in touch with Bhavna. Yeah? Right. Way forward. All of you are master student? Yeah. How many of you are thinking of doing your PhDs? Raise of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Please look out for opportunities, because definitely joint PhD programs is something that we are looking forward to do. Joint publications, your masters, you all have dissertation or a project that you'll do. So if it is of a very good quality, i.e. if you put the effort in the right direction, that can lead to a joint publication. Okay? So please work with your lecturers. If you all want to do something cutting edge on the topics we mentioned and also the topics we are doing, more than welcome to work with you all under the banner of Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center. Okay? So we look forward to working with you all on those. Visiting scholars, this is an opportunity for those who are doing PhDs currently and also members of staff who have got PhD degrees. They are more than welcome to spend a considerable time at the University of Wolverhampton, and that could be 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, up to 6 months. Okay, and express your interest, and then we can work that out. Okay, that's another opportunity. Hosting workshops and international seminars, today is an example of that, and we conceptualized this symposium less than 1 month, which is the shortest ever anybody of us have done, both from BCU and from Wolverhampton team. So again, thank you for putting all the effort. But why was it successful? Because research takes place in both places. We were able to identify and bring that to a platform to showcase through the symposium. So we can do more workshops, more symposium, more conferences at a bigger scale, where that knowledge exchange will benefit our staff, our industry, public sector, and the private sector. Capacity building programs, the activities from WBC, Wolverhampton-Bengaluru Center for Research and Innovation, the main aim is to provide activities that are co-created, short courses. It can be 1 day, it could be 3 days, it could be a week, how both can work together to provide that. Development of collaborative research projects that we are looking forward to. And those research projects, I said, it could be master's level project, it could be PhD project, it could be for funded projects as well. Thank you. So that shows how many of you are here and how many of you don't here. Now these are amazing opportunities. Honestly, I'll tell you, I was there one time studying in Bangalore, so I know the value of these things and how it transforms not only the lives of individuals, but also the society and what you can contribute at a larger way, both locally, regionally, and internationally. For those who want to be entrepreneurs, any entrepreneurs, ideas in the room, raise of hands. Yep. Excellent. We have startup incubation, so your ideas can come into reality, and through University of Wolverhampton we can support that through the WBC. And with that, I conclude my presentation, but happy to take question and answers. Thank you.
ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಕೇಳೋದಿದೆಯಾ?
I think if there are no questions, I'm pretty sure you'll are very hungry, and that's why there's no questions. That was a massive yes. Right, please have your lunch and come back, because then you have a lot of opportunities to ask questions to the panel. Okay, see you in an hour's time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful presentation, which you have outlined all the possible